Okay, welcome back to a series on firearms for self-defense. Very basics of firearms for self-defense. If you haven't seen the previous videos, part 1 talk about safety and how to not accidentally shoot yourself or someone you love. Please go back and watch that video. That's the most important video in this series. The second video talked about the parts of a firearm, and yes, I'm using an airsoft gun for demonstration because no reason to actually have a real firearm for safety purposes. Now we're going over the parts of ammunition. And people frequently will call one of these things the wrong name. A little bit of dust on it. This is a cartridge, also occasionally referred to as a round. This is made up of 4 components. On the back, see that circular piece there in the middle. In this case, it's kind of a gold color. That is called the primer. This contains 2 different chemicals that, when combined, they will explode. They're dry chemicals encoded on different sides of that piece of metal. When you go to fire the firearm, the firing pin hits that piece and combines those 2 chemicals. They explode and generate a small amount of flame, which is enough flame to fill this silver piece. Most cases is brass. This particular one is nickel-plated brass. Sometimes they're made out of steel, but it will fill all of this cylinder here, which is called the case. The case holds everything together and is full of gunpowder. Now, next component is the gunpowder. The gunpowder is going to be inside the case, and when the primer explodes, causes flame to fill the case, that ignites the gunpowder. Now, the gunpowder does not explode. It burns very, very quickly. And as it burns, if we remember basic science, kindergarten, 3rd grade science, matter is not created or destroyed. When we burn it, we're not actually destroying the gunpowder. We're simply converting it into having a chemical reaction, which results in us having gas instead of solid powder. And this gas is under a huge amount of pressure, right? It just tries to expand much, much bigger than the original gunpowder was, which generates pressure. And what that pressure of the expanding burning gas will do is push the bullet out the barrel. So the bullet's going to follow the path of least resistance, which in the gun with a bunch of burning powder behind it means the bullet is going to go down the barrel. This brings us to our 4th component, this thing on top. That's the bullet. That's the part that actually goes out of the gun when you fire. Oh, camera focus. I might have to drop in the picture. Now, there's a bunch of different types of bullets, different shapes, different colors. In this case, it's a filled hollow point from Hornady. Sometimes they have weird fillings on the front, a little piece of like pencil eraser in the front. But generally, it's made out of lead with various coatings on the outside, copper in this case. And that is the portion that actually comes out of the firearm and goes into the target, the bad guy, whatever. And just that tiny little portion being pushed by the burning gas from the gunpowder. And then once you fire, it's worth noting, the bullet comes out the front. The case, the gunpowder in the middle converts to a gas, blows out the front also. Why you see a little flash when you fire, it's that burning gunpowder converted to a gas coming out. And then this back piece, the case and the primer, have to go somewhere. Which generally, for a semi-automatic pistol, it means the slide will come back. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Bullet goes out the front, slide goes backwards. And your case with the primer attached to it will go flying out the side through this ejection port here. This hole where my finger is, that's the ejection port.